Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? I'm just going to talk quickly about Wolf Creek Season 2. It will be a shorter video, mainly because I didn't do a ton of research, because both on IMDb anyway, both Season 1 and Season 2 are just sort of melded together, and there isn't really a ton of stuff about it. Um, but yeah, I am going to talk about it. I talked about season one. Season one, I really liked. I thought it was really well done. If you liked it too, and you want to comment and like and do all that fun stuff, and also if you want to subscribe, help me get up to 1,000 subs, just a little goal I'm setting for myself, that would also be appreciated. Sorry, my sock was being weird in my slipper. Yes, I'm wearing slippers and pajama bottoms, but you can't see that, so it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm in my underwear. Actually, wouldn't be the first time. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to talk about season two. Season two, honestly, it was. I didn't find it as good as season one, but it was still really solid, and I still really enjoyed it. And I'll probably go back and watch, in some let a bit of time pass and let it all escape from my brain and watch both seasons again. But season one was more like a it was horror, and it started off a lot more solidly than season two. I'll give it that. It was very much in the spirit of the Wolf Creek movies, or at least the first one. I don't remember the second one. I watched it once and I really don't remember if I liked it or not, so I'll definitely be going back and revisiting that. And also they did bring back John Jarrett as Mick, and I think that was probably the saving grace. Well, no, that came out wrong. Made it sound like everyone else sucked. No, everybody in both seasons were really outstanding. I don't really know anything about any of the other actors in the series. A lot. They're all. It's an all Australian cast, from what I understand, which is fantastic because it's filmed in Australia. So why else? What else wouldn't make any more sense? It wouldn't have a lot of sense to have a bunch of other actors from like the states or other parts just sort of filling in the gaps. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. That came out weird. That it sounded a lot better in my head and made more sense when I was thinking it than rather than just like blurting it out and having it sound stupid. Anyway, it was a great cast. Everybody was a lot of talent in there, and I really liked and want to look up and see what a lot of those actors have been. What else they've been doing. But anyway, back to what I was actually trying to say. Yeah, season one was more of a thriller, kind of not mystery or anything, still horror, but it was more of a thriller, revenge kind of movie. And the girl, the main character, I've already forgotten the actress's name, but she was seeking revenge for him killing her family, and it did start off very strong, very violently, and I do recommend checking out season one. Season two is more along the horror side of things, and it was still really good. I really enjoyed it. It did start off as strong as intensely as its first season, but it was still really good, and it just kind of went in a completely different direction. I'm not going to give away too much because it's definitely worth seeing and finding out for yourself. And I'm someone who hates spoilers. I prefer not watching trailers, that sort of thing. I don't like to know anything going into something, especially if I really want to see it. Um, but it did have a lot of core characters, where in the first season it had one sort of main character. You didn't see Mick a whole lot in the first season. Like, he was there, he was a presence, and when he was on screen, my nose is just suddenly really itchy. But when he was on screen, it was like, oh, what's he going to do? And it was always kind of scary and freaky, and you're sort of, what's he thinking, what's going on? Because he's very methodical. As evil and twisted as he is, he's also very methodical in how he does things and what he does. And season two, you see a lot more of him. He's more of a presence, which it kind of gives that more element of danger in the series. And there is a core group of people, and a lot of times in horror movies, especially like slasher films in particular, you have a group of people, and half of them aren't likable. Whereas you go to classic horror films, classic slasher films, you have a smaller group of people. You get to know each personality, and you sort of feel for them. You don't want to see them die because they're usually likable people. They're people you can relate to. And then the later slasher films, it was just, let's line all these people up and see how many different ways we can kill them. And they usually end up killing the most obnoxious people, and you're cheering for the kills rather than than feeling empathy. But for this season two, all the characters for the most part were pretty likable, pretty. They all had different personalities. They just weren't all cut and paste of each other and generic slasher victim type characters. They were all really good. Different parts of the world. You had one character who was Canadian. You had a couple who was German. Um, you had a girl, two girls that were a couple, but like they weren't together. But one of them kind of liked the other one. But anyway, if you watch the series, you'll see what I mean. All the characters were really likable, really relatable, and whereas the first season, it almost makes it seem like it should be an anthology series because the first season ended in a way where realistically, not to give too much away, if you hadn't seen it, Mick should have been dead, and then it sort of has the Halloween ending, like he was there dead and now he's not there, and then that's sort of how it ends. And then in the second season, I don't want to give too much away, but it just has sort of like a weird ending and similar to that, like a similar way, but I'm not going to say any more about that. The ending is super intense. There is one character in the film that starts off really strong and then becomes incredibly unlikable, and then you start to wonder about this character. Is this person on actually siding with Mick? Is he? Sorry, I was trying to keep it gender ambiguous. I didn't want to, but I just said he by mistake. I didn't want to give it away for this because there's an equal amount female to male characters. It wasn't all phallocentric like a lot of films usually are. So it also had that going for it. But there is one character, and you're wondering, okay, is he on the level? Or is he secretly working with Mick? Like he just kind of gets a little sketchy later in the film. I'm not going to go on any more about that character. But it is a really good series. I do recommend it. I highly recommend it, actually. And if you enjoyed the movies, you will like the series. Like I said, season one was a little bit better, but and it started off a lot stronger. Season two, towards the middle, I started to like season two better. But then I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm sort of leaning more towards season one now, but both seasons are really good. And there was something else I was going to say. Now the cats are doing something, I think. But yeah, there was something else I was going to say. Oh crap, what was it? Season one versus season two. But like I said, season one was more of a revenge story. This was more of a slasher story. Mick has a lot more presence in season two, and he is still just as terrifying, if not more, because you actually see a lot of the things he's capable of, and you actually get to see how intelligent he really is. He comes off as like just all psycho and crazy, but there's the gears are always turning for him. It's an interesting character, and it doesn't lose steam where he has some sort of backstory where you feel like there actually is a backstory scene, but doesn't really give too much away, and it doesn't make you feel any sorry for him or, oh, the poor guy, that's why he's like this. Well, now I understand. No, it's nothing like that at all. But anyway, if you have seen the series, yeah, drop a comment below because I'm really curious what other people thought of it, because I haven't really met anyone that's watched it. And Wolf Creek, unless you're really into horror films, it's not like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, even Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Everybody who's anybody has at least heard of those characters, like this one here. Isn't he pretty? But has at least heard of the movies, even if they haven't seen them. This is something most people who are outside of the horror fan community probably never even heard of. So if you have seen it, if you have seen the series, yeah, let me know what you thought, because I really want to hear comments from other people that have watched it. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend checking it out. And I guess that's where I'm going to cut this video off. And if you watched it all the way, thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe, help me get up to 1,000 subs. I'd really appreciate that. And I guess until the next one, bye.